Hello, I'm absolutely delighted to be here today to talk about some of the work we're doing in the UK in relation to volunteering. I'm absolutely thrilled to know there's an interest in your country in developing a very proactive volunteer service to support people who are isolated. A little bit about me to start with. My name is Dr. Patrick Gagan, and for over 40 years I've worked within our National Health Service in the UK as a clinician. And I specialise primarily in focusing on older people, people with mental health, people with disabilities, and I would say some of the most vulnerable people in our society. After 40 years, I decided in 2013 that I would retire. Although I don't use the word retirement, I use the word I changed my portfolio. I think it's far more interesting than the word retirement. And with a friend, we decided we would set up a charity which would support older people who were lonely and isolated. We came together and we thought, well, we really don't know what the demand is. We knew there was some people in the UK who were lonely and who were isolated from our experience, but we really weren't aware of what was going to hit us very quickly. When we first established ourselves in 2013, we set up this telephone helpline. And I'll say a little bit more about that later and how it operated. But the key thing was, we thought in the first year we might have 20,000 calls, 30,000 calls spread over 12 months, which we could cope with. We were shocked to realise in the first year we had over 350,000 calls. That was at times over 1,000 calls a day from people who felt isolated, people who were lonely, people who had no contact with society, people who felt they had just been forgotten about. We realised that there was an epidemic in our country of these type of people, and we had to do something about it. So with the use of a helpline, and our helpline was a telephone helpline, it was free at the point of delivery. It operated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it offered anyone in our country who was isolated, although at first we said it would be anyone over the age of 65. But at the same time we said anyone who rang us who was lonely, we would do something about supporting them. And we discovered very quickly that actually you could identify the loneliest time of the day for people, which was primarily in the evening, at night, and at weekends. And we had horrific stories, like I remember Mabel ringing us, who said after 5 o'clock in the evening, she would ring shops just to listen to the answer machine saying they were closed, as she felt that was the only time she had contact with a living person, although there was a machine. Or you'd get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning from someone who would say, I'm 93, I've seen no one for the last 3 weeks, I might die tonight, and I just want to let you know who I am, because at least you'll find my body quickly tomorrow. So you can imagine the very sad stories that were given to us. And therefore we felt it wasn't just good enough people ringing us and asking for help, but we had to do something very constructive to actually help them. So with the Silver Line, what we did was we set up a number of services. One was a helpline service where people just rang us and said, I want to talk to someone, I want to share with someone just how I'm feeling, I just want to make human contact. And sometimes that's all people wanted. Other times people rang us and we used a signposting service, which meant if you were living in a particular area and we had a very large database of various activities in the community, we could say, well, actually, Patrick, where you live, there's a luncheon club, there's a library, there's a reading club, so we could actually connect you with them and actually do something about it. Some other people said, well, actually, we would like to have a Silver Line friend. We would like to develop a relationship with someone who just didn't speak to us as a one-off when we actually rang for help, but someone we could develop a friendship with, that would become our friend on the phone, that we could talk to as and when we wanted to talk to them, and that they would show an interest in my lifestyle, but also I could show an interest in their lifestyle. And that's where we got the idea of developing the most important part of our organisation, which was an army of volunteers. And within a year, we had over 6,000 wonderful people who volunteered to help us roll out our mission, which was to ensure no one in the UK was isolated, no one should feel that no one cared for them, and that we were there to support them.